Hello and welcome to Follow Everton. This is the match reaction as Everton have won away from home again, this time at the soulless West Ham United Stadium. And it was what I would describe as a very, very convincing away performance. Let me just put my phone on DND so it doesn't pop up midstream. I'm hoping we'll get a couple of other of our friends on to discuss this. But conscious, obviously, that there's a Manchester derby at 3:30, so won't keep you too long. And also, I don't think there's an amazing amount of things to talk about here, but it definitely an opportunity to celebrate that good win away from home. It was certainly, I would say, it was quite comfortable for Everton today. I didn't think that West Ham really posed much of a threat throughout the match. I thought they lacked a focal point. I know they went with Antonio up front, but he was we handled him very well. We just dealt with everything that he tried to present, and I think West Ham are really lacking that sort of genuine number nine, and I think Everton have actually got three of those in Calvert-Lewin, Yusuf Chermiti, and Beto, and obviously we can't get them all on the pitch at the same time. But I think West Ham really needed a focal point, and they couldn't really build a level of momentum because Everton was so disruptive in the way they won the ball back in dangerous areas, the way they, to be fair, won every header, won every one. They were just completely dominant, I think, defensively, and restricted West Ham across the 90 minutes to not many chances. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't really think of too many. Possibly one at the end where it was on the volley. Pickford double saves it with both hands down to his right side, but I'd expect any Premier League goalkeeper to save that. So I think we really restricted West Ham to just less than a handful of chances because of the way we were so defensively diligent and tenacious in our approach to winning the ball back. In terms of what we did on the ball, well, the first 45 minutes, you could say, well, we didn't create an awful lot. And I think we didn't commit enough players forward, and we played with a little bit of, I wouldn't say a lack of intensity, but there was a fearfulness about us in terms of not willing to get too many players forward to in the West Ham, you know, area of the field. But we did have the two best chances of that first half. Jack Harrison, I think he wins the ball back through his tenacious pressing, which was fantastic on that right hand side. He was certainly the better of the two wide men today. He wins the ball back, and I think it's a 3v1 situation at one point, and he's got the option to slip Calvert-Lewin in, and he decides to. Calvert-Lewin, I don't think he makes the best movement really, but he's trying to stay on side as well. And Harrison cuts in on his left foot, and it's a tame shot. He really should score that. And he had another one a bit later on, which he cuts inside again, and he smashes it over the bar. And really, Everton, with those two chances from Harrison in the first half, should have been ahead. Can't really recall West Ham doing anything in that whole match. I think certainly in that first half, and I think that we were very, very comfortable in the first half. And I thought possibly it could end up just being a drab 0-0, just with all the pre-match sort of stuff to do with Kenwright and how flat the atmosphere appeared. I know we were watching on TV, but it seemed very, very flat atmosphere-wise, and a lot of empty seats in the stadium as well. But obviously, we come out for the second half, and to be fair, I felt like the game was for the taking. Absolutely, I feel like we need to not panic as much. You know, you look at someone like Decore, he was full of endeavour, McNeil full of running, but when they actually got the ball, just needed to use it a lot better. And the goal came, and it was Calvert-Lewin with his 50th Everton. I think it was his 50th Everton Premier League goal, was it? And you know, it's a fantastic. I think it was with his left foot, the touch, and the finish with his right, low down to the keeper's right, and it's a superb finish. And it was everything that Everton deserved, and more. And it was a fantastic strike from Calvert-Lewin, possibly one of the best goals he scored in a long time. And it all really does come from Harrison setting the precedence with his tenacious running, a willingness to press the keeper and make sure the passes into areas where we can win the ball back when he eventually does pass it, and then winning it back, and Decore with the pressing. And just collectively, that goal from Jared Branthwaite, who was absolutely outstanding at centre-half, stepping up into midfield, winning the ball back, and then Everton using the turnovers and that transition to their advantage as they do so often. And of course, it comes to Calvert-Lewin who finishes. And Everton should have made it 2-0. Decore through on goal. I don't quite understand the technique behind the strike. It was almost like outside of the right foot or toe pokey. I think he had a lot more time, and with a little bit more composure, it should be 2-0, game dead, game done, make some changes. And there you go, because West Ham were flat. They were soulless in the ground. The players didn't offer an awful lot. And this is West Ham that have got a lot of good quality players. Look at, not particularly Souček, but you look at Paquetá and Kudus, who was a very, very big threat for West Ham. Of course, James Ward-Prowse as well. I mean, they've got a lot. I think they just lack a number 9, West Ham. But they've got some good players, and they didn't show an awful lot. And Everton, I'm saying that's down to Everton really, as much as them being poor, because the way we pressed, the way we were so tenacious, the way we always backed each other's, the fullbacks had so much protection from the wingers. The midfield always had Decore dropping back in to help. The way the defence looked so composed and stepped up. Even Jordan Pickford, who had a good game, not an awful lot to do, but dealt with everything he had to. But just going back to that, yeah, it should have been 2-0, Decore. And you do wonder at that moment, are we going to rue that opportunity? Are West Ham going to come back into this game and punish us for not taking that chance and making it 2-0? But they didn't really offer an awful lot. I mean, they were trying to get things going, but Everton were so dogged in their defensive approach. You felt like possibly we would win. We would be more likely to score on a turnover. And it was Amadou Onana for me, who was absolutely phenomenal in the middle of the pitch with his tenacious tenacity, ability to win the ball back, ability to spring counterattacks. His range of passing, short and long, was exceptional. And his intelligence as well, to read situations, to know when to carry the ball. I thought he's been amazing since Garner Gay's been taken out of the team. And in his true position as a number 6, he has done exceptionally well. And Onana tried to spring some counterattacks, but West Ham, with a few professional fouls in the game to stop us. I think if they hadn't, I think we could have possibly get that second goal on the counterattack. We tired a bit. I think our threat in terms of the actual, wingers, Decore and Calvert-Lewin, as the game went on, I think we lacked a little bit of threat. We needed possibly some fresh legs, but you can understand why Sean Dyche was reluctant to make changes to a team that was defending so well and as a group, and kind of, it looked well coached. It looked like everyone knew what they were doing. Everyone knew where they needed to be. Everyone needed to know who they had to back up, and what the trigger for the press was, and the trigger to win the ball back. And I just think it was a very good sort of Dyche style performance, dogged, away from home. And I think the scoreline flattered West Ham, because I think Everton were worthy winners today. And that takes us up to 10 points now. We're 5 points off Luton, who are currently losing to Aston Villa. And you could argue, if we're going to play like we've played in some of these games, Brentford, West Ham, Bournemouth, we'll be more than comfortable. We'll finish mid-table, and we can build on that for next season. It's just whether this point deduction, if it does come, happens, because you'd almost worry about it in terms of, you look at the bottom 3 in the Premier League this season, and they're Sheffield United, Burnley and Luton will almost certainly be relegated, possibly with the lowest points totals you've ever seen of a collective 3 relegated teams. You wonder if we're going to have a points deduction. If it was this season and not next, it possibly favour us, but you have to anticipate it would be suspended. So that's it for me. I'm going to look at the comments now. I think it is just myself today. You did hear from Robbie and Wes in the pre-match. I hope you enjoyed it, but I think it was just a very good performance. Everton with a clean sheet, which is really important. I wonder, is that our first this season, or it's the second this season? First away from home. Defensively, very, very good. Jared Branthwaite and Amadou Onana were joint man of the match for me, but it was very hard to pick because you've got a lot of tenacious running and Calvert-Lewin's finish and all of that. But I think we were deserved winners, absolutely. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Tazul saying, now we have to improve our home form. We will have a good season. I agree, but we've started to see signs of that with the 3-0 win against Bournemouth, which could have been a lot. We have someone. I love the way he's jumped in whilst he's still setting up.
Sorry, mate.
David, how are you?
I'm good, Ray. Very
Not
good.
often Everton win 2 games in the space of a short period. Obviously, Bournemouth, Brentford, 2 away from home. Can I get your thoughts?
I think all round an excellent performance throughout. I think there was some players that sort of faded out of the game in the second half.
Yeah.
And we should have been, the manager should have been quicker. Bringing on one sub, it was sort of like that. You got Dan Juma and Beto there, and he's bringing on Chimiti. Was a bit of a strange one for me.
Not sure I agree with that. I think Chimiti, I mean, at the time I was surprised he hadn't gone with Beto, but why not Chimiti? If he's done enough in training to justify being the substitute in those circumstances, I actually feel sorry for them. That I'm glad Calvert-Lewin's doing well, but neither of them are going to get a look in. What I was more concerned, Dave, about was when we did tire, when McNeil looked like his legs had gone, and of course defensively, this is the benefit you have. You keep McNeil and Harrison and Doucouré on the pitch. Discipline-wise, they know what they're doing. I think Robbie's there. I'm just going to bring Robbie in one moment. Defensively, that's why they were kept on. But you could argue, just to kill that game off, could Dan Juma, as you say, have come on? Could Better have come on? Could even Wes Garnegay come on just to shore up that midfield instead of Doucouré and just give us a little bit of fresh legs? But there was no action taken from Dyche. Do you think that was a bit of a mistake?
Well, yeah,
they were picking a hole in a for me, which was an astounding performance. But
yeah, we think. I mean, we're saying the same thing every week with regards to Dyche's substitutions, aren't we? It's like, was it going to take us for West Ham to equalise for him to make a positive substitution?
Wes, I wonder whether you're being a little bit negative. I've tried to do a really positive match reaction, and you're complaining about the subs. Let's bring in Mr. Positive, not the original Mr. Positive, the second incarnation of Mr. Positive. He's looking a little bit like Santa at the moment in preparation for Christmas. Also, shout out to Jeff in the comments. Hi, Jeff. Hope you're well. He says that back four is superb. Gary says injury time was so much pain, but he was bouncing off the walls. And Chris is giving man of the match to Calvert-Lewin. Right, let's bring in Sir Robster.
Hi, boys.
Here he is. That's the type of flag I like to see, an Everton flag. Little private joke. Robbie, how are you, mate, after that?
Yeah, we're relieved. How's my microphone, by the way? Okay?
You sound fine?
Cushy.
Great. Yeah, we did go for an away win. Wes and I, and a lot of the fans pre-match, they were all going for an away win. We fancied it with the West Ham being in Europe at the week, in midweek. And you know what? I know we could have brought subs on and it could have been better instead of Chimiti and whatever, but I'm just going to go with the fact of if it's not broken, it doesn't need fixing. And today it kind of worked in our favour. I thought it was a great performance, resilience, solid, and I thought they were there for the taking, to be honest with you. It could have been, Pickford cracking save in the 90th minute, bar from Benrahma. It could have been a good 3-1. I think that that would have been a good result. But we've moved up a place because Notts Forest are getting beat 2-0 at the moment, so currently we're 15th. So we play midweek, don't we? We play on Wednesday, and Burnley. If we got another 3 points, we'd go to mid-table.
It's Carling Cup.
Yeah, it's Burnley in the cup.
Oh, it is, yeah. Sorry, I thought it was in the league. Got carried away. I've got us going to 10th and 9th.
Yeah, I've got us in the top 6.
The Champions League places next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can imagine it, can't you? Everton go on a bit of a run. And they possibly weren't expected to win today, but I think in the blue circle here, we've seen Brentford and Villa, and we kind of had a little bit of hope that soulless ground that Everton on a Sunday, and it's even more flat than it needs to be, would get the win. but it would be us for Everton to go on a win and then possible points deduction going, oh, you're in the top 4, are you? You're the surprise challengers. Here's a fucking 15-point fine. Wes, you're getting a little bit of stick in the comments from a few people saying you're a little bit negative. Could you smile for us?
Do you know what?
We've won. We couldn't win a game away from home.
Someone said to me there, someone said in the comments there, give Dyche a bit of credit. I'm not slagging Dyche off for the tactics that he employed today. I'm just saying we could have made more positive substitutions, and just bringing one player in 90 minutes when there was players tiring. Dan Juma, Beto, you know, they were available to us. That's all I'm saying. I'm not slagging Dyche off. I'm not one of these people to slag Dyche off when he gets things right. Give him all the credit that's due. It's just the substitutions wise. I think there was, you know, Harrison drifted out of the game. I think McNeil looked like he was on his last legs in the last 10 minutes. And I just thought, you know, bring on some fresh legs. That was all.
But the same question is, if Robbie's gym equipment in his background is working fine, why would he get it replaced?
Because I've just won the lottery.
Because that's what you do.
I was also slightly worried at one point, possibly 80 to 88 minutes sort of time. I thought we were perhaps getting overrun, and I wouldn't have been abject with bringing on Garner Gay for Decore and just saying extra legs, just make sure you win the ball back up the pitch. But I felt also he's got the problem where he's got to balance. He doesn't quite trust Dan Juma, and I do agree Dan Juma on the counter attack in a 1v1 could be very effective, but also, does he know the positions defensively where he needs to be? What are his roles and responsibility? And as Jeff is pointing out in the comments, changes could have disrupted us and led to mistakes. And I think he was within his right not to make any substitutions.
Yeah, but you could be on the flip side of that, right? You could say now, in hindsight, we're saying that because we won 1-0, right? A change of players, fresh legs, could have had us winning that game comfortably.
You're digging this point in for 5 minutes. I'm dropping it now. Dave, the goal, Calvert-Lewin, the touch, the turn,
great
the first
touch,
time hit.
Lovely goal, lovely finish. A man who seems to be rejuvenated. He seems like he's got the fire back in his belly. Do you know what I mean? Didn't really do a lot throughout the game, I didn't think. But when he was called upon, he was there to put his chance away. And that's what you were all asking. That's what you're asking your striker. You know what I mean? You look at like all the good strikers over the years, and a lot of them don't really do a lot during the game. Haaland probably gets about 10 touches in the game. And
he definitely put himself about. Robert, you've got to say, Calvert-Lewin, he looks very focused, doesn't he? He was kind of in the game, competitive, and then waited for that moment. But it was a goal of the highest caliber. Definitely deserved to win a match.
Yeah, we've got him back, haven't we? It's his 50th goal, 4th of the season, and 6th against West Ham. That's the most he's scored against any team. So it's one of them. It's one of those little stats where you go, yeah, come on, we've got our boy back. It's nice to see. We said that before the game. We'd love him to score, and he did. Made up.
6 goals away from Cahill's record. That would be a nice Christmas present for him if he could get that, but it would be a little bit of a tough ask. I mean, Santa, do you think that could be on his wish list?
Yeah, and to be honest with you, we want to smash Burnley on Wednesday because they're one of the ones who are like little letters to the Premier League, so they need to be like bombed off.
Yeah, those letters might get intercepted by the red-nosed reindeers on their way. Dave, you've got Jared Branthwaite today, maturity beyond his years. Was there anything? I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw a central defender put in his accomplished performance, and even when he gets dragged out of position into the channels, he just seems to deal with everything like he's doing it 20 years.
Rolls Royce of a defender, and if we're brutally honest as Evertonians, he's not going to be an Everton player for much longer because
he's just signed a 4.5-year contract with an extension.
Means nothing, right? Means nothing. Contracts mean nothing. You know that. He's not going to be at Everton for much longer. I can guarantee that.
David, someone shot one of your bollocks off
years ago, both of them.
Oh, God.
No,
Right.
but I'm just being honest. I'm just being, being truthful and being real. He'll be getting noticed right now by all the big clubs. You know it, and Robbie knows it, and every Evertonian that's on this stream knows it. He is the next player out the door for big bucks. Am I wrong?
How
Right.
much?
Let's try and be positive.
I'm not, am I, Robbie?
How much?
Well, you're talking 50, 60, 70 million, aren't you?
Well, you know, my thoughts are sell him in January because we've got a cracking replacement in Keane. I'm joking. I'm on a high.
On the bench by Annie Lonergan.
Yeah, he had a family issue or something.
Dave, they're not happy
home.
with you. Taz will say, cheer up. I don't know whether there is a release clause. I just asked on that. And Jeff said he's got a new Twitter. If you want to put the handle up, please, because I noticed you haven't tweeted in a while.
I'm not in the mood today. I'm happy that we won. And all I'm doing is I'm being a realist.
Go on, you go watch Man City, Man United. Me and Robbie.
Jared Branthwaite is going to be a superstar, and he'll be getting noticed already. And if you all think that he's going to be there in 2-3 years' time, you've all got your head buried in the sand. PSV wanted them last season.
We're going places.
Yeah, Bramley Moore, hopefully.
Love it. And I was waiting for that. Robbie, another player, again, beyond this year's today for me, in that middle of the park, possessed every single attribute you can expect. There's his footwork, his tenacity, winning the ball back. He's got the height, the strength, the speed, the tactical awareness. Just everything in his game today was exceptional, and that for me was Amadou Onana. You're thinking, is that James Garner? No, Amadou Onana for me, and is the intelligence to certain situations where he knows he can travel with the ball and win a foul because he knows he's going to get taken out. How far do you think he's come in that role as a number 6? Do you think that's his future? And if so, is that the end of Garner? Could we sell him to the Saudis for 150 million? In Jan?
Sell who? Onana?
No, I'm saying Onana has made the number 6 position his own, and we don't need Garner Gay. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Onana?
Yeah, I mean, we said, say 2 months ago, we wanted him to do well, didn't we? We showed him what a colossus he was when he puts on the Belgian shirt. But with us, we were kind of saying he's going missing a little bit. But then, if you remember, Ryan, we were saying a little bit like Michaelenko, these are young lads, and we want them to grow into the shirt and grow in the stature. And let's face it, there's been a lot going on behind the scenes, hasn't it? And I know that we said it before the match that they should rise above it, but there's so much going on. And I think Dicey's clearly gone, look, forget all about that. Forget about the points deduction. Forget about this. Forget about that. Concentrate on being the main man on the pitch. You get on that pitch and you make things happen. And it's kind of like a bit of a transition over the past month, where he goes on the pitch and he's kind of like, yeah, you know what? I'm up for it. I can do this. And he's got the physique. He's got the stature. He's an athlete. It's lovely. It's lovely to see. We did say, didn't we, at the start of the season, when we get all our players fit, when we were struggling, when we were beaten against Fulham and at the start, and we're missing our chances. When we get everyone fit, we're going to do all right. We're going to give teams a game, and I think that's where we're coming from now.
I said that, Mr. Negative.
Yeah, but it's true, isn't it? We're giving them a game now. We're going, yeah, come on then. So, like these analysts who analyse us before the game, it's not just on the back of a cigarette packet because we're so predictable. We've kind of got something to offer. So it's nice to see. Home game coming up soon. The next game's a home game. Not guaranteed 3 points, but you just go, Okay, we can build on it. So that's 4 wins in 5. 4 wins in 5. I'll say it again. 4 wins in 5 games.
I mean, and the only defeat there was against Luton. You could argue it should have been 5-5, but 4-5. That is some serious form. It's just a shame it's taken us a few weeks to get going, and hopefully now. I think we play Brighton in our next home Premier League game. Of course, they trounced us last time they came to Goodison. We left a lot of spaces before. One player who didn't particularly play well last time we played Brighton was Patterson, but today he looked more comfortable, beaten a couple of times, but really did deal with everything he needed to do overall. You could argue the only two who had a poor game, perhaps, were Harrison and McNeil, and I wouldn't say that was just based on work rate, because I think the work rate was there, the effort was there, the defensive covering was there. I just think they won a little bit more at the end of the pitch, instead of a little bit more clinical, instead of half-hearted, which was often the case.
Just bear in mind, though, there, right, who put the ball through to DCL for the winner?
Branthwaite. No? Or was it Harrison?
Harrison.
Oh, well, there you go. He's got an assist. He had a great performance.
Yeah.
Well, I don't personally have anything more to say on this. Obviously, I was here for 15 minutes before you guys, and I just said it was summed up the game. So have you two got anything else you want to add?
I want to ask you a question, right? I asked this before on the pre-match, right? And Robbie did not really answer me either. But given that this potential 12-point deduction's coming, would you rather listen? Would you rather
I heard the question on the pre-match. I thought
you wouldn't take the 12 points now. You wouldn't take the 12 points now with the league being as poor as it is, with the chance of instead of maybe next season or the season after when it's going to be stronger. You got the likes of Leicester who are flying, Leeds are flying. They're going to come back up. The league will be stronger next season. The teams that are in the bottom of the league now are very, very poor teams for the Premier League.
Are you saying we've got to have the 12 points? And
what I'm saying to you, if you was given the option where you take the 12 points, right, you've got more chance of staying up this season with the teams that are here now than what you are if you'd have to take them next season with the teams that are likely to come up next season.
You just won a match and you've made me feel really depressed.
Wes,
it's a question.
I'll answer it. Wes, I'll answer it. I'll take the 12 if Man City take the 120.
What my thoughts on this? I get your point. This season we'd be on -2 now, and you look at the teams at the bottom, Burnley, Sheffield and Luton, and you can't see them getting more than 20 points each. And you think that Everton possibly will get 50 points this season. I could see us getting 40 to 50 points. I suspect we'll get at least 10 more points than last season, just because we are better than last season. 3 more wins, 4 more wins. So I get your point. Also, I just think we have to prioritise what's in front of us, deal with the hand we've got. I get the question is, you are getting 12 points. Do you want them this season or suspend them till next season? And the answer is, I'm not going to answer that question. I'm going to sit like a politician on the fence and say, I don't want to be miserable just let me have my moment in the league, and next season we'll reassess it then. Maybe we'll be able to spend some money on some players and it will be completely different. I don't know. I hate that.
Yeah, actually, that's my nephew, by the way. Go on, son.
Hi, Liam.
Been the game today, I think. Been the game, haven't you, mate?
You're prioritising family members' comments.
Goes without saying, doesn't it? I have that power. I have that power. I'm not a pessimist. I'm a realist.
Who was the original Mr. Negative? Was it me?
No, that was definitely Jeff. It was definitely Jeff, that.
No, Jeff was positive. He left the channel because it was too negative because of you.
There's a lot of people agreeing with me, though.
They're your family.
Yeah.
No, but it's a valid point. I think that what's naming if it comes to the 12 points,
This
where
is
we
what
have to take it.
Dave today. we've just won a match and I'm miserable.
I'm not miserable.
I've got nothing to moan about. So I'm going to make things up to moan about.
Well, I'm not making it up, am I?
Wes, I'd still tell them to shove it up their ass. I wouldn't take 12 points. So I'd be negotiating. If we're going to get anything,
The chances are, Robbie, it's not going to be 12 points, right? But I'm saying, worst case scenario, if it is, would you rather take it this season than next?
I just don't want to take it full stop.
Yeah. but Robbie, what
but that's just kind of defeating the object, isn't it?
No, I'm not taking it because
we won't have a choice. Back. We won't have a choice unless we'll probably appeal it, which will take years to do. But
let's appeal it.
Ultimately, we will not have any choice on the decision.
Where we've got a good enough team to win 80, 90 points.
Yeah.
Appeal it and then take it to the Supreme Court and then take it to the Court of European and then take it to the Global Court. I get it. It's a funny. He wants you to say that you'll take the 12 points this season because the league's weak.
Well, it is. That's
Robbie wants to fight it to the death. You know what he did for a living. He's going to fight it to the death.
I'm up for it. I'm up for taking 1,000 coaches down to London. Got me placards ready. It's not happening.
He stood on the plinth.
I'm on the plinth, mate. I've got my speech. It's all done.
Anyway, let's just revel in the fact we've got 10 points.
Yeah,
we're only -2 after -12.
Yeah, it's a nice day. It's a nice day. I said, didn't I? We said before the game we can watch match of the day, and we can look at the internet this week, knowing full well that we're going to stay 15th. So we've moved up a place.
Yeah, but we'll be on last on match of the day as well.
Not asked. You can put us in the adverts. You can put us in the adverts. I'm not asked.
More games on match of the day today than what there was yesterday.
Yeah,
and we'll still be on last.
Right, anyway. I'm interrupting you two, Wallies. I just want man of the match from the comments, and then we're wrapping things up. I've got Mr. Blue Skies, Pickford 7, Patterson 7. He's given Branthwaite man of the match with a 9. Onana very closely behind with an 8.5. James Garner, McNeil a 4. That's a big one. That I didn't think he had a good game either, but McNeil got a 4. Harrison 6, Decore 6.5, DCL 7. Liverpool are obviously beating Nottingham Forest. I wonder whether they could be sucked in, and Villa beating Luton. Just want man of the match in the comments, and then we're wrapping things up. Wes, for you, your man of the match.
You know what? It was a toss-up for me between Onana and Branthwaite, but I'm going to go for Branthwaite because I think he was solid all game. I think they played to our strengths, like they were just hitting balls high into the box. We defend them all day long with the headers. But yeah, Branthwaite for me, I think he was solid. Yeah. Close though.
I think West Ham's tactics were poor, and they couldn't get in behind us because we were just. I mean, even when we did, we just had the pace to get back. We were so composed and comfortable defensively, and Branthwaite was a big part of that. You know, he just looked beyond his years. And
does anybody else that think that Michalenko's getting a lot better? Yeah. He was good. He was good in the derby, and he was good today.
A lot of shouts for Branthwaite. Yeah, he was good. I want to see more from him going forward. I think it will help. I don't know what's going on in Ukraine at the moment, but it can't have been easy for him when he came here. You know, whether he would have ever been kind of that Leighton Baines, Luca Dean style player, I'm not so sure, but it can't have been easy. Robbie, your man of the match. Were you with the crowd, or have you got anything different to say here?
No, purely because he's got us 3 points today. And it wasn't a 10 out of 10 performance, but I'm going for DCL with his 50th goal. Branthwaite was beautiful, outstanding, love him. But I'm just going for DCL because it was a cool finish from a cool guy.
Yeah, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Look better without.
You agree with that? I agree with that.
That's shite.
Patterson played okay.
Yeah.
This is a really good point. Just one final point here. from David B. Average age of our first 11 was probably quite young. Patterson, Branthwaite, Onana, James Garner. Even some of the more senior players are in a prime. It's good to see that, for the future. And you do find it surprising, perhaps, that Dan Juma and Beto just can't get in this team, because arguably they would be good enough for the team. But it's also a good sign that they can't get a look in, because we're doing well. I'm going to wrap things up because there's a Manchester derby on that I imagine a lot of our viewers are going to want to watch, and so we'll let you go. Thank you, Robbie. Thank you, Wes. And
no worries.
Always good to speak to you. And that's it. Everton have burst the bubbles at West Ham. Pop, 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 pop in their flat, soulless stadium on a Sunday afternoon. Happy lunchtime. Carvery's getting lashed everywhere in East London at the moment, and the 3 points are being served back on Merseyside, soon to be removed because of Dave Weston's cynical negativity. But we'll have more reaction coming up in the build-up to Burnley, and I'll be back personally around the 15th of November, but it might not be on a stream till the following match after that. So see you soon, and thank you, boys. And if you haven't done already, subscribe.
As Bill Withers said, it's a lovely day.
Some bubbles just landed on the screen of Wes. I'm sure I saw a little circle thing.
Bye, everyone.